And what's going on, guys? Minikhal here, coming at you with a day 260 account update. So following a normal format of these typical account updates, we will look at our TCP first and foremost. So coming in there, I am at 3.096. Last video was at about 2.9, so again, just kind of shy of that 200k mark, and that seems to be kind of the progression, the way the account seems to be going. Seem to be averaging about 200k per 10 days, and a lot of that is in part of kind of progressing through campaigns, etc. So kind of looking here, I am insanely close to level 80 right here, just basically a little under 800 XP. So I probably won't hit that today just because of, I've handed in most of my daily objectives already. But I definitely am planning to hit that tomorrow. So it's been a couple, it's actually, I think, been quite a few days, actually, rather, that I have not done any of my Stark Tech. So I'm going in there and just kind of popping in my Stark Tech real fast. And, there's really kind of no rhyme or reason, I would say. There's no super benefit to doing one of these over the other. I typically try to do any teams that I'm currently working on or currently using in larger stuff. And I mean, you'll see there that just doing that Stark Tech actually bumped me up to 3.1 mil. So that's actually a pure 200k. So again, because I didn't do that Stark Tech for about 10 days, that's probably why I was a little short. But anyway, so we have officially hit the 3 million mark, which is a big deal for this account. Coming at the 260 mark, we are just about 3.5, or actually that's bad math. We are just about coming close to the 8-month, coming up on the 9-month mark, rather. So we're getting pretty close to that. The account has been growing pretty steadily. It's been a pretty busy 10 days, and I think this is probably the most progress I've made recently. So in the Doom campaign, I was able to finish the section here, which I believe was in the 1 section. So we basically finished it with our Wave 1 Avengers. I was not able to 3-star this node yet, which I will need to go back and work on this, as Dr. Octopus probably is in my legendary plans for Dark Dimension 4, but my goal right now is really to get to the Yellow Jacket node. I really want to get Yellow Jacket on farm and get Jubilee unlocked, essentially. So was able to do that, so I progressed through that. Chapter 2 was pretty easy. Went through with these first 3 nodes with AIM. The next 3 nodes, I did the symbiotes, and these last 3 nodes, I did kind of a Hydra kind of combination. So just kind of looking at that, this is basically kind of what I did. It was not these at all. So we went in with Baron Zemo, we had Red Skull, we had Winter Soldier, and then this Hydra Grenadier. And I was able to 3-star the first 2 nodes, and honestly, this last node, I'm pretty sure I could 3-star it if I needed to. It was just kind of a RNG thing, so I think I could if I needed to, but for right now, I don't need any of these orange pieces on farm, so not too worried about it. Now, Chapter 3, these first 3 nodes, went in pretty easily with the symbiotes, pretty simple. These next 3 nodes, which are the nodes that really matter for me, because this is where Yellow Jacket is, and we are super close to that 5-star Yellow Jacket. But these first 3 nodes, I'm planning to use Wave 1, and so far they are not able to even complete this node, so I do need to go in and kind of build them up a little bit more. So I'm actually working on Wave 1 T4s, as well as building up Black Widow. She's my weak link so far. Everyone else is already Gear Tier 12. So I'm going to try to bring her up to Gear Tier 12 If I'm still having issues, the next goal is to bring them up to a higher level, and we will just kind of see where that goes. But so trying to make some progress there. Other things of note, still farming characters that I've been farming for, it seems like ages now, but farming Stature, for Jubilee, as well as Wasp. Hela, I have been farming for a Black Bolt second pass through. Because I did actually, that was one of the big achievements over the last 10 days, is I did unlock Black Bolt, so he's hanging out down here in my Dark Dimension 4 queue. So I am looking to obviously get Hela to 6 stars so we can have a 6-star Black Bolt for his next pass through. The Wave 1 is all kind of hanging out up here as I am working on them for that campaign. And then we are also working on Miss Marvel and Karnak, hoping for a Ebony Maw unlock. It's going to really depend on whether or not we can get Karnak to 5 stars. Once that does happen, I will start working on Black Bolt. Truly, I think if you have a big Black Bolt, you should be able to unlock Ebony Maw pretty simply, or pretty easily, rather. Also farming Yelena just as a kind of extra farm. I did unlock Kestrel, and she is super close to going over to 3 stars here. Hoping to get her to at least, I'll definitely get 4 stars, but ideally I would like to get her to 5 stars. I think she's going to be really important in the future meta. I'm planning to take her to Dark Dimension 4, and actually even Dark Dimension 3 possibly, for the Cosmic sections. I think she's going to be a phenomenal Doom Raid character. She's proving awesome in War Offense, really great in Arena on Khaleesi. So that's just kind of where that is. In the supply store, kind of while we're looking through gold, it's kind of more of the same. I'm buying uniques that I know I need. So this one for the symbiotes, this one for a future Ebony Maw, and then other orange ones that are under 100 is kind of what I'm trying to keep my gold kind of up. Purples, buying anything under 100 that is not, the only thing that's kind of an exception to that rule is the ABCs, which I will farm those as needed. Blitz store, still just opening up Blitz orbs. Nothing has really changed there. These ones I am using to kind of farm up characters because my farming resources are actually a little tied up at the moment. And I will talk about that in just a second once we kind of go through the store. But Raid Store, kind of the same thing. I'm buying Baron Zemo when I see him. And then in here, I'm a little bit more free spending. So oranges that are kind of under 200, I will buy. And then purples that are under 100 I'll buy also. I've kind of stocked up a nice chunk of raid credits again. In the arena store rather, I am strictly buying these L3 training modules. Yes, there are certainly characters that I could be farming for unlocks, but truthfully, I am really kind of hyper-focused right now on actually getting into Dark Dimension 4, which sounds really funny, but I'll talk about that in just a little bit. In our war store over here, kind of the same thing. I'm farming Ghost when I see her, and then other things I'm buying is G15 uniques and any of the uniques that I actually need, and that's kind of what we're doing there. In the Elite store, more or less kind of the same, just kind of holding out for characters that I actually need or that I, could use these credits on. So far it's been slim pickings, and we are still sitting on 278 credits. And then in the ISO 8 store, we do nothing. Same thing with the Ultron store, and the costume store is absolutely nothing also. So while we're talking about what I'm spending campaign energy on, I did mention Dark Dimension 4, so I am obviously 1 level away from being eligible to start DD4. So what I am starting to do is I am starting to build up my initial Dark Dimension 4 team. So it's a team of 5. I'm bringing in 4 global and 1 cosmic character. And that'll basically get me on track for the first 6 nodes. So basically who I am working on with all of my training mats is my 4 global characters rather, which is going to be, we've got Ghost, we've got Yellow Jacket, we've got Stature. As I've talked about in my DD4 video, they are just a phenomenal trio. Bringing along with them, I'm going to bring in Baron Zemo. He is going to be my 4th global character. And then for my 5th character, it's really going to kind of just depend on gear, but I am looking at either Silver Surfer, Hela, or Kestrel. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm taking my training mats and I'm getting them as close to 80 as I can. Once I do actually get to level 80, I will start building them up. So I'm doing Ghost first, followed by Stature, and that takes care of a Tech and a Bio character. I'll then bring Yellow Jacket up to 80 next, as he is my next Tech character. And then Baron Zemo over here is Skill. And then over here, we've got 2 Mystic characters, and this is basically just going to depend on their mini unique, or their actual unique. I never know which ones are the mini ones, but so it'll just basically depend on who gets their uniques built up first. And then Kestrel is Tech, obviously. And so that's kind of where all of my gear farming is right now. So if you look over here, I'm actually not missing any of the G15 pieces. I've got a pretty large quantity of those to at least get started. So what I'm running into is I'm actually short the G13 uniques. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using as much of my campaign energy as possible to get this gear on farm. And I am, the plan is hopefully, and I don't really like putting timeframes on things too much, but I'm hoping maybe after a week of being level 80, depending on gear drops and whatnot, I can actually start DD4. Obviously I am still in the midst of DD3, and I really don't see anything wrong with running these 2 events at the same time. DD3, honestly, I think is going to take me a lot longer than DD4 will, but, we'll see. So, yeah, that's kind of how that's going. While we are talking about other things kind of going along, the Kestrel event is going pretty well. I think this is a pretty easy event, well on track to obviously finish this and get that 3-star Kestrel, which I actually already have her at 4 stars, but been a pretty easy event. This one has been going through pretty daily, pretty quickly. So what I have been doing is I've been completing those milestones pretty quickly. So I've actually been saving my refreshes for that campaign until after server reset, which is 7 o'clock for me. So I'll go throughout the day and I will spend, just some energy just so it doesn't max out. But if you look here, I haven't actually refreshed any cores. So I will actually do that starting at 7 p.m., and that kind of gives me a jump start on getting that take flight milestone done. So like I said, I am shooting for a 5-star Kestrel, so I have actually been doing 2 of the 100 refreshes. So when you kind of go in here and you look, I'm actually doing 6 refreshes total. So the 450s and then 2 100s. And the drops have been pretty generous for me so far. I don't know if I'm getting good RNG or what, but it's been going good. So I think I'm well on the path to a 5-star Kestrel. So that is awesome. And I think that's kind of just the general vibe of the account right now. Just to kind of show where I am in Dark Dimension 3. I am getting super close to actually finishing the global section. I'm basically just kind of one good day away from finishing this node, and I am actually going to go and do this node today. We'll see if we have some good streaming RNG. If that is the case, we are kind of ready to start the Cosmic section. I don't have a full Cosmic team yet, but I do have 2 characters already up to G14 at the very least. I know I have Silver Surfer, and I believe Hela is G14 as well. This node has been going by pretty well. This is definitely probably the hardest node in Dark Dimension 3. This is the one that I think gives everyone grief. And, there are a couple parts of the node that just do get kind of really annoying, especially when you have the Nick Fury kind of up with the Coulson and the shield securities, because Nick Fury is doing all of these, he has that assist mechanic, so everyone is getting these double taps and the team wipes pretty quickly. But once you can kind of get to that point and you're basically going through the waves, it does get a little bit easier. So we are running into a situation here where we are getting hit by a lot of ultimates, which is okay. The core members of my team are kind of still alive. And by the core members, I mean Ghost, Yellowjacket, and Snatcher. Ant-Man is around to basically kind of help out, and he definitely assists. But really, the ones that are putting in a lot of the work are those three that I mentioned. So we've got Ghost up. We are going to get a nice big heal, which will get everyone back to full health. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I really am trying to get rid of that Mordo back there. I don't like that he heals every time that anyone dies, really. So he is kind of like my prime target. Once I get him down, I think I will then switch my focus over to the Falcon over here, who he basically has that speed up mechanic with his special. And the enemies are already fast enough. I don't want them taking basically extra turns. And, we'll kind of see how this goes. With the Pimtech, a lot of their mechanics, some of it is chance with those dodges. So you never know sometimes like how well things are going to go. But we've got Baron Mordo down, which is good. I'm going to use Yellowjacket's special over here, and I just want y'all to pay attention to Falcon's health. And this is really why I say not Falcon, but Pimtech, especially the trio, is really cool for Dark Dimension 3. You notice there, he just like really wiped out Falcon's health. And that is because I have his special T-Forward. So when that special is T-Forward, that attack hits for 30% damage. And in Dark Dimension 3, that is absolutely insane because these enemies have such high health pools. And then you kind of combo that with the fact that Stature is feeding energy. So he's doing that attack a lot more than, he normally would in just kind of like a regular fight. And while that move is not as powerful outside of Dark Dimension because, characters don't have those insane health pools outside of Dark Dimension, in Dark Dimension it is just absolutely crazy. And I honestly owe my success in Dark Dimension 3 and how quickly I've progressed through it to Ghost, Stature, and Yellowjacket. And I can say with 100% confidence that they are great characters to bring into Dark Dimension 3. This is probably the easiest time I have had in Dark Dimension, especially on a first pass through. I think Kale, when I first did Dark Dimension, I think I was in Dark Dimension for several months. It was a really kind of a long experience. And it's honestly been, kind of easy, if that makes sense. And normally Dark Dimension 3, it's that one content of the game that it's I always dreaded doing. I hated having to do it on Dracarys. And Dracarys just finished his second run through, actually not that long ago. And Mini over here has done it in a fraction of the time. And I've honestly not felt that same frustration. And I think a lot of it has to do with the characters that I've brought in. So we're going to go in now. We are going to get rid of the Shield Trooper. This move actually might delete him. If not, he will be very close to it. And boom. So he literally took an enemy from yellow to death. And that is absolutely insane in Dark Dimension 3. So kind of the way things are looking, you can kind of get a vibe for how you're doing for a run. This is definitely going to be one of those good attack runs for me, and I am 95% sure that we will be finishing up this node. I'm kind of just going in now and taking out some of the other problem children, so I'm going to go in now and wipe out Rescue. She adds an offense up buff that we don't want, especially with the crossbones that, have a tendency to explode. But at this point, it's really just kind of mopping up these last couple characters, and we will finish up our first global run of Dark Dimension 3, which is really awesome. This node did take me a little bit longer than the other ones, not going to lie on that. But considering I want to say the first time I ran this node with Kale, I think I was on this node for easily a month, if not longer. This is truly the hardest node in Dark Dimension 3. And the fact that, like I said, this team has really just been able to kind of progress through it is just truly, it's really amazing. We're going to go in here. We will basically wipe out that crossbone's health. And I think a lot of the reasons, obviously the meta has shifted a little bit, and when Kale basically went through Dark Dimension 3, really the only answer was Phoenix. And while Phoenix is a phenomenal character, her basic mechanics for this node were kind of flawed, where the idea was you basically wanted her to die, and then after she died, you were hoping that she would live long enough, and by long enough, she would have to live 2 turns to basically do her special and her ultimate. So basically, the teams you were bringing into Dark Dimension 3 were really just built around keeping Phoenix alive, and basically all you would do is you would do Phoenix's special, you would do Phoenix's ult, and then you would wipe for the day. So, you would get a fair amount of damage in, but it was nothing like what this Pimtech team does. Pimtech goes in, and they are all 3 of them. I mean, Ant-Man is here, don't get me wrong, but all 3 of them are here, and, they are combined doing insane amounts of damage and nothing like what Phoenix does by herself. So, you're looking here, 2 attacks, I did 24 million. The best attack for this one was on day 7. I did 20 million in 1 attack, and that really came down to really just these 3 right here. Ant-Man and I think Emma seem to have died pretty quickly, but the 3 of them are just put in this insane amount of work. And, this node took me 14 days. I did have a couple of bonus attacks, every now and then. So maybe let's just shave off like 2, maybe 3 days as far as the attack numbers. So, at the worst, this node took me 12 days. At the least, it maybe took me 11 or 10, whereas Kale, I think it took over a month. So it just really goes to show kind of what Pim is capable of. So we're going to go in here. So I actually do have 3 of these characters, so that is pretty cool. We are going to... I actually wanted to show this off, and you want your splash damage to be minimized. So with them all like this, they are going to get a crazy amount of splash damage. So we don't want that. So I'm going to show a little trick to basically create a situation where your characters won't be getting splash damage. So we've got Surfer here. We're going to plug in any 2 characters here because they don't really matter. And then we'll put Hela and Longshot there. We will delete these 2, and then we will save this as a team. So now when we go into Dark Dimension 3, we can pull up that save team, and they will be placed the way we want them. And this will just basically minimize splash damage. It'll stop things from chaining, and we don't want that, especially when you're running in with fewer characters. So we'll go in, boom, we've got our characters nice and separated. And since we're here, let's do a cosmic run. We'll see how this team does. Again, in Dark Dimension 3, the difficulty definitely scales down once you get past the global sections. I actually think I have got at least 2 symbiotes that are already G14, so they are ready to go in that area. And it'll just be kind of a slow progression. I think as I am building up cosmic characters for Dark Dimension 4, I can then basically plop them into Dark Dimension 3. But I definitely think my bigger focus right now is going to be Dark Dimension 4, just because, again, that's the newer content. The rewards for that content are, exponentially better than the rewards for Dark Dimension 3. And while the individual node stuff is pretty equal, basically Doctor Doom is the big thing. And, since my account is so young, I don't know that a lot of people in my arena shard basically have the same hyper focus that I do. So by getting Doom pretty early, I think I can kind of sneak up on my arena meta. But that was a quick cosmic attack. Typically, in my experience, those first attacks normally go pretty quickly, as a lot of the characters do have their ultimates. But we managed to put in 1.8 million in damage. And looking here, I don't have any refreshes. I will do refreshes as I get 100. With this team in particular, I would probably refresh Surfer and Hela. But yeah, so that was that little run. We did earn a an Elite 5. So we will see if the streaming luck is continuing. I don't have Kestrel at 5 red stars, so always open to that. Or not Kestrel, Colleen Wing, rather. So let's go ahead. We'll open an Elite 5. We'll see what happens. And yeah, that's all right. It's an upgrade. I'll take it. Nothing too crazy. But so that is going to be our day 260 account update. If you did find this video helpful, please like and subscribe, or if you liked the video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week, and take it easy.